Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and I'm glad you're here. Now, if you are a returning viewer, thank you. I appreciate you coming back. If you are new, I do knitting and crochet and enjoy playing with all yarn, most all yarn. I do some sewing. I do some other things, other crafty things. I like to build things. I just like to make things, okay? I like to make things. Now, I am recording this the same day. I just got finished recording, well, not just got finished, but not long ago, finished recording my knitting version of this video, which I will link down below if you haven't seen it. I wanted to go ahead. All right, so in that knitting video, I explained machines are not my friend today. And my hands aren't my friends today. So that's why I went ahead and recorded the knitting video, the knitting utensil essentials or not, tools, arsenal, however you want to say it. I did that video because, well, I recorded that video today because of the fact that nothing is working for me. My hands don't want to cooperate. And if I can't do any of that, then I will make a video. So I decided since I use some of these things for both my knitting and crochet, why not go ahead and do the crochet version on the same day, right? My hair's all in my face. Sorry about that. If you can see it, it probably doesn't annoy you as much as it annoys me, but it's been that kind of a day. I'm not going to worry about my hair. I'm just I'm going to sip my tea, I'm going to talk to y'all, and I'm going to show you what all the things I have for my crocheting. And like I said in the knitting video, I don't know whether you would call it tools or my arsenal or my notions. I don't know. And while it has gotten a little warmer outside, it has not warmed up to a good degree for me because I had to take the dog out again and it's freezing. It's freezing. So hence why I have my second cup of tea for the day, because I had one earlier because before I did my knitting video, I took the dog out and I was freezing and had to get my tea. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so let me start off saying you don't need any of this stuff. The only thing you really need is a hook and yarn, all right? And honestly, if you can do it with your fingers and yarn. I've done that. In fact, I taught my sons how to make chains with just their fingers, just to get them used to handling the yarn and seeing what it felt like. And so I don't know if I'm going to get a lot of flack on these two videos. And I say two because I don't know if I'm going to do one for sewing or not. I really don't. And I would have to do this about the time that the sun is going to reflect off my husband's truck right in my face. But I like to use as much natural light as I can, so I don't want to put the curtain down. Even though it is white lace, but it still will block some light. And if I block that particular thing, it'll put too much shadow. All right. I always talk a lot. Y'all know this. If you've been here for any amount of time, I talk. For those of you who are new, I hope I don't lose you because I talk too much. But you know what? If it's not your thing, I understand. I just warning you now. I talk a lot. So, I did like something the way I did on the knitting version of this is I started from the earliest kind to what I use now. So let me put a disclaimer in here. I started knitting I started crocheting about 2 years after I started knitting. So I have been knitting and crocheting almost 3 decades now. So I have accumulated a lot of this stuff because of that. Now, I will say that after my house fire, I didn't have any more. So technically, I've only accumulated this for 2 decades. Or a little over 2 decades. So anyway. Some of it I have that I don't use. Some of it I have that I use a lot. Some of them I have, some things I use every now and again. That is so good. So let's get started. All right. Now, after my house fire, I was donated knitting stuff, but I really didn't get any knitted crochet stuff. I mean, any crochet stuff donated to me. So all of this I've gotten since my house fire. Now, I started off, just like with my knitting needles, I started off with boy. Okay? Now, these right here, these are not for the faint of heart. And I'm not talking about just them being metal. I'm talking about they're the steel hooks for crochet thread. If you know, you know. If you don't know, let me tell you, these things, they're hard on your hands. Now, I've not done enough thread work to invest in any fancier ones than these, but these are definitely hard on your hands because of that teeny tiny tip. All right, so this thing, it shows you right here. It's a 1.65 millimeter, 1.30 millimeter, and a 2.75 millimeter. I mean, they are microscopic. Itty bitty 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 bitty. Little bitty guys. So I've used them. I don't use them that much anymore because I don't do a whole lot of filet crochet with thread, and it's not a matter of for me right now. It's more my vision. I really can't do a whole lot of it. And this little thing, a friend gave me this pouch. I can't remember who gave it to me. A long time ago. I mean, I'm wanting to say close to 18 years, at least. But here I have all of my metal boy hooks. And I prefer... And everybody has a difference. Sorry, my nose itches like crazy. It's the hair touching my nose. But I like the boy style. The tapered style. I don't like the Susan Bates inline hooks. That's not my preference. Some people say that they use inline versus tapered depending on what yarn they're using and whatnot. And it's never been anything like that with me. It's always been boy. It's always been the tapered. But, I mean, you can see I have quite a collection of different sizes there. And I didn't get them all at once. I accumulated them over time. As I needed a certain size, I would go grab some. Now, as you can see, I have... wait. Oh, that was in the wrong slot. Oops. Which tends to happen. Alright, so I have as small as a D, which is a 3.25 millimeter, which is still teeny tiny. Teeny tiny. And then, it just goes up. Now, the whole purpose of this was I was going to say that I have duplicates. Like right here, I have 3 Fs. I I have 3 of the 3.75 millimeters. Okay? Then I know I have more. I might have given my daughter-in-law a couple. I found one of them that she gave me back. She marks it with tape. Because the way she holds, the way she holds it, it helps there. But there's my G6, which is the 4.25 millimeter. But I think I have a total of 4 of those. I accumulate them, and I always get more. Because there's nothing worse than not being able to find the size you want. Now, this helped keep them all contained mostly, but I still lost them in a project bag or a whip that hung around way too long. And these right here, I think these are all H's. Yes. So they're all 5 millimeters. And then I have one I, which is a 5.5. I have more than that. I know I have another one, but it has the handle on it. And then I have a couple J's and a couple K's, I think. Yep. So I have some bigger ones, some smaller ones. This was my little toolkit, so to speak. And then I had my highlighter and my pen. Yeah, you can't beat it. This thing served me well for many, 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 many years. But it wasn't essential now. These hooks, if you're just now getting started, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told my knitters. If you're just now getting started, boy is perfectly fine. Or Susan Bates, boy, the metal hooks is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to go and spend the money on the padded hooks. These metal hooks work just fine. And often you can find these in thrift stores and whatnot too. Not the case, but the, oh my gosh, my hair. Anyway, you can find the, he keeps trying to come out. Well, I normally keep him, see, I normally keep this pack in this. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back in there so I do not lose that particular thing. I just keep that in there so I have it all central. Since I showed y'all those, I'm going to put that up. Now, the evolution continued. They came out with light up hooks. And these were not bad for what they were. So you can see that they light up. If you can see it in this. Let's see if I can kind of. I used them when I was, in the car and whatnot. And they're handy. They really are. And I also used them when I was working with black yarn that was giving me trouble as far as seeing it. But now I try to keep my area very well lit to where I really don't use these a whole lot anymore. But they, these had their uses. I liked them. A lot of people have said that they don't like them because they don't light up the work very well or because they're plastic. Yeah, well, yes, they are plastic. I mean, how is you going to get light to reflect through there? Oops, that battery's almost dead. Yeah, that battery's dying. So anyway, not essential, but handy if you have trouble seeing your yarn. Or if you are in a car and you don't have any other light source that you can not distract the driver. These are handy. Would I buy any more? No. Would I recommend people buying them? No. Not really. And going back to the metal hooks, I bought these thinking that they were a lot of multiple sizes, but they wasn't. I think there's 3 sizes in here. I think there's a 2 millimeter, a 2.5. No. I don't think so. Hold on. Let me try to turn it. Or squeeze it over here to see if I can see it. Okay, so no. It's 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter, and 3.5 millimeter. There's 8 of them. But I thought they were different sizes than they were. And I always like to have extra backups. That's why I had those. I've never even had to take them out of the pack. Because, I mean, I don't use a whole lot of 3 millimeter crochet hooks, so I've never had to, worry about using them. Now, so we went from the metal hooks to the light up hooks. Then I said, I'm going to get fancy. I'm going to try. They're not ergonomic. I don't think that's what they call these things. I don't know. But it's just the rubber handle. I got this at Walmart. It's a boy. And I love it. Now, I only bought one. And this is the I. Which it says 5 1/4 on here. But I has always been 5 1/2. So, I don't know. But this is my usual when I want my worsted weight red heart bargain acrylic to be drapey and flowy kind of thing. I go with this. This is my go-to for that. And I've used it so much, the printing on it is all but worn off. It gets a lot of use. In fact, it was in my my flower power yarn. And I pulled it out so that I could have it in the video. But now I had to put it back because it goes, I am working on those flower motifs that I need to stop messing around and actually get busy to finishing. Which frustrates me. Side note, little chit chat. Like I said, I had so many things I wanted to do today, but things were not, the machines wasn't working out. Well, then I thought, okay, well, I can work on this project. I can work on that, get a couple things finalized, and those motifs were one of them. Finishing up that ball of Red Heart all-in-one flower power. And my hands just wasn't working, so it's like, Anyway, okay, off that side note now. So, along those lines, I had gotten off of Temu another little set with the rubber handles, just the extra little handle grips. And I thought, okay, these were $3, $2.50, maybe $3. And I got two, I don't know why they sent me two 3 millimeters, and then a 4 and a 5 millimeter. And let me tell you, these stay in a bowl, not in a bowl, in an old candle that I cleaned out, the jar that the candles come in, that I have sitting beside my recliner. These things come in handy for a number of things. I have dropped a stitch knitting. This has saved me. I have crocheted with these. And they're fine, They're not my go-to, but they're not essential. They are, I could take them or leave it, right? And like I said, nothing is essential except something that you can, a hook you can crochet with. And these are me just graduating over time and enjoying the graduation of my material, my tools. These right here are Boy from Walmart. And these have no bearing on anything I bought for myself. I bought these, yes. But I bought these for my grandson. because he is 4, he is wonderful, and he's the light of my life. And he wanted to crochet with Grandma. So I was at Walmart one day, I seen these, and I was like, what perfect way to let him feel included in what I'm doing. Even though I'm sitting there playing with him, I'll just pick up my needle, my hook and my yarn, and I'll crochet a little bit while he's doing his own thing. And then when he wants my attention, I put it down. Well, he likes the idea of crocheting with me. So I bought these. Now, we'll say that anniversary cake, that Karen anniversary cake, I used this one. I tried to use this one. No. I tried to use this one, the 11.5. Because I have a 9.5, I think. No. I have an 8, 11.5, and a 15 3/4. 15.75. So they're definitely big for, they're made for big bulky yarns, which I really don't use, except for those anniversary cakes, or that anniversary cake. I still have the purple, and I haven't decided what I want to do with that yet. But this is what, and you know, they're just basic crochet hooks. But it's always good if you come across a need for a size, and you can get, like those three were about as much as, they were cheaper for those 3 than it was for 2 that I was, if I'd bought them separate. So I bought all 3 of them together. Now, these are my clovers. And these are, I don't remember the I don't know that they had a name for them. I don't know. I really don't. Okay, so let me see if I can put them in order here. We have a 3.5, 4.5, a 5, and a 6. All right, little set of 4. I don't think I got them in a set of 4, though. I think I got these separately. But I've had them for 8 years, maybe a little longer. I don't know. It's been a hot minute. But these are not necessary. I can crochet just as good with my metal boy hooks as I can with these clovers. But like I said in my knitting video, and if you watch that, I'm sorry for repeating myself. Once you get to a certain point in your craft, and you have the money, and you want to have a nicer time of it, these are not a bad deal. Especially if you can get them on sale or with coupons, which I try to do both. It just depends when I can get them. Now, out of these 4, this is my most used size. That's 4.5 millimeter. On that note, and see, I showed y'all that in the knitting one too. I have three more of the same size. And I have used one of these. I think it was this one. But I put it back in there so that I wouldn't lose it. Because I couldn't find this one. I couldn't find this one. So I went out and bought another one. With a coupon, mind you. Because I'm not going to pay anything full price. But I thought to myself, well, I don't like the fact that I couldn't find that particular hook that day and couldn't start my project until I had gone and gotten this replacement. So, anytime I get a 60% off coupon for Joann's, I will pick up one of these. Or, you know, same. Anyway. And that's how you can really get some good quality tools without breaking the bank. Now, these right here, Oh yeah, here's some more of those similar ones that I got, that I showed y'all over here. It was just a bigger pack with bigger hooks in it. Because it's always handy to have them. Always handy to have them. And there's some stitch markers in there that I've never used. But because even though I don't have a lot of whips going at one time, whether it's crochet or knit, it's not imperative that I have all these hooks. It's just handy just in case I do lose some. Alright, now this, my best friend gave to me because she said she wasn't going to use them. Okay, well I thought that came out, but apparently it doesn't. And I have yet to use them. It is a boy interchangeable steel hook set. And I told you why I don't do my steel hooks. Well, she gave me this, I want to say, close to 10 years ago, before my vision started really getting bad. And I really did think I was going to use them. So I told her, sure, you know, I'll take them and I'll use them. Well, it might be time for me to pass this on to someone who will use it. And the thing I like about this is, I mean, it's got 14 different heads that you can use. But I like this because you can always add something to it to make it a little more pleasant to hold. But this is thicker than your typical steel hooks. This is almost as thick as maybe a 4.5 millimeter steel. Hold on. I'm not going to guess. I'm just going to pop it out. And let me see. I'm thinking it's like a G6, which is a 4.5, 4.25. And it's a little bigger. So yeah, it might be like a 5. Yep. It's very close to that 5 right there. So you get a substantial handle and still get to work with your steel heads, your steel hook sizes on the heads. Because there's nothing worse than trying to hold them little bitty steel hooks. I told y'all about that a minute ago. So it is handy. I've just never used it because before I got a chance to even think about using it, my eyes got to where they wasn't going to play right. So I'll reach out to her and ask her if she minds if I find a new home for these, because, and it comes in this handy little case. But, you know, someone who works with crochet thread may love to have this. So that might be passed on. But like I said, I've got to ask her first to make sure that she doesn't get upset with me, and, you know, because she's my best friend and I don't want to break her heart. And I don't want her to think that I don't love something that she gave me. But also, me personally, I would think, you know, I would rather somebody use something I gave them than just hang on to it for just like, oh, you know, my best friend gave this to me, or I can't say that because there's things that my mom gave to me that I don't use, and I just keep them because my mom's gone and she gave them to me. So I wasn't going to get rid of them. Okay, so that wraps up all the hooks. Those hooks are mainly necessary, but like I said, the higher end ones, they're not. You can go to Walmart and get the cheaper ones and they work just fine. Now, row counters. I have 3 of them. No, they're not necessary, but I love to use them. because I don't use them a whole lot with crochet. I use them more with knitting because the way I am a pencil grip. I'm a pencil grip. So can you see the problem? It's right there on it. So a lot of times I will set it beside me and just hit the button. But if I'm doing that, it's easy, just as easy to do tally marks. And I have my little trusty handy notebook. And you can see I do tally marks a lot. I do a lot of tally marks, especially with crochet. Because like I said, you know, the row counter is great. Sorry, my nose is just itching like crazy. And it's my hair. I'm about ready to put it up like I do at work. And that's primarily why I put it up at work, because it just gets in my way. And even though I do it like this, it's going to go flop right back in my face here in a minute. Sorry. If you can't hear, the grandpup, Maya, the husky, she's in there tapping away on the kitchen floor. But anyway, so row counters are not necessary. They would probably be more beneficial if you did. Why is that so stretched? It's normally not that stretched out. But I guess if you were a knife holder, yeah. Oops, I put the stitch counter on backwards. Yeah, I guess a row counter would help if you were a knife holder, not a pencil gripper. So, they're cheap. They were cheapish. This one I've had for a long time, and it was $3.99 from Hobby Lobby. I got my gray one at Walmart, but I got this and that one that's still in the pack from Hobby Lobby. And that sun is beating straight on that window, popping right in my face. Which is very distracting, but I will press on. Needles, a must. You can do a darning needle. You can do, I have used upholstery needles. This little thing come with something. I can't remember what it came with. But this is my absolute most favorite needle right there. That little crooked one. It lets you get into those stitches so super easy. I love those. But any needle will work. You don't have to have a fancy needle. A little straight needle. They have some plastic ones. I have one or two, but I've never used them. Some people swear by them to where you could just slide it in. It's one. Hold on. Let me see if I think I have one of those. Hold on. This is what that set came in. No, I don't. Okay. It just has a lot of big plastic needles. The one I'm talking about, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they are, it's basically just open. And you slide your yarn in, and it can accommodate all kind of sizes. And a lot of people said that, it's better for them because it doesn't make the yarn bunch up in one spot where it folds around the back of the needle. So I've been crocheting this long and I've never had to use one. So it's one of those things. It's not necessary, but it might be handy. I don't know because I've never used them. And these are a must. Actually, maybe not a must. some form of cutting something. I've pulled I've broken yarn plenty of times with my hands, but it's not ideal because it leaves long, wispy pieces that is very hard to get inside needles. And sometimes, depending on the strength of the yarn, I have dug into my fingers, you know. So, but you can use anything, like you can use clippers, you can use little scissors, you can use humongous scissors, you can use embroidery. Yeah, all kind of different options. Whatever you have at home is probably good enough. So you don't have to go out and buy fancy scissors. Do I like buying lots of scissors? Yes. In fact, I have several, because I tend to keep them in my Notion pouches, in my Notion tins. These little small ones like this, so that I can carry them with me everywhere and anywhere. Yeah. This I keep in that little candle thing beside my recliners because, you know, it's just the handiest. And I can literally, it sits in there like that, and I can literally just grab it and cut, and I don't have to fuss and muss and all that good junk. So, I left this out for some reason. It is a stitch holder for knitting. But I don't know why I left it out for y'all. I don't know. Because there's no need for it, and I've never used one in crochet, so. Huh. I've lost it. I sure have. Okay. A measuring tape. I consider this essential. Whether you have one of these, you have one of these, or if you sew, you may have one of these. But some form of measurement, unless you have that good of a idea of like how long your elbow is to your wrist, or like my favorite measurement is the heel of my palm to the tip of my fingernail is 6 inches. So if I don't feel like grabbing my ruler, my measuring tape, and I like this because it's flexible, but it's not necessary. Some form of measurement is necessary, but you don't have to have one of these. These you can pick up pretty cheaply. Just make sure that you measure, because some that you get offline, off Amazon or Temu or something, they have different measurements. An inch is not an inch on every ruler or every measuring tape. So just be mindful of that. This one I've had so long that it is the OG. But, yeah. But what I was saying a second ago is I have measured plenty of things by the heel of my palm and my fingernail. Just to kind of get a guesstimate, not an exact measurement. Now, when I need exact measurements, I pull out my measuring tape. But say I'm working on a hat and I need 6 inches. All right, well, I can just put it against my hand and say, oh, nope, I'm only at this knuckle, so I got a couple more inches to go. It works. And I have even seen people tattoo rulers on themselves, on their fingers or on their wrist. If you've done that, more power to you. I'm not going to do that. That's just me. But I love thinking outside the box. Now, I have some stitch markers here. Are they necessary? No. Do I like them? You have not been long. Went out, Missy Miss. Y'all hear her? She acts like she did not just go out. What it is because it's cold out there and she's a husky. So she loves it. Sit. Good girl. Shh. Stay. Anyway, I do like cute stitch markers. And like I said in my knitting version of this video, I got these a few months ago off of Temu because I thought they were just darling. I have not used them yet because I put them up and I forgot that I had them. But this is perfect for like progress keeping, or, and these are actually numbered with little balls. The balls of yarn are actually numbered. So you could put them on, you know. Usually if I were to mark a row like this, I would do it every 10 rows or every 5 rows, however many. Or if I need to see how many rows are in a certain repeat on a crochet pattern, and I will put them, you know, I will mark my rows that way, which would be handy for this. But I haven't used it yet, so it's not necessary. None of this is necessary because before I ever bought my very first stitch marker, I used You're just gonna have to wait now. Anyway, I have used yarn, I have used paper clips, anything that I can put in place, I will use that as a stitch marker. And there's no shame in that. Do I like having these little handy stitch markers? Uh-huh. Now I have 2 different kind in here. I have these plastic, I can't think of the name, and I should have looked it up because I bumbled over this on my knitting video, and yeah, I just the only thing I can think is diaper pins. Safety pins. That's it. Safety pins. So I have the plastic safety pin kind. And then I have the light bulb kind. Little metal light bulb kind. I'm trying to pick a color that you can actually see. And these come in handy too. These right here. Especially with smaller thread. Like when I use my fingering weight and stuff, I tend to use the light bulbs because they don't weigh, or they don't make as big of an impact on the yarn in my creation as the plastic safety pins. And I prefer to use a safety pin now over scraps of yarn. But I still do use scraps of yarn sometimes. If I am out and about and I don't have my Notion tin in my bag, or, you know, I'll just break off a piece of the beginning of the, you know, because usually I'll leave about anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of a tail on either my knit or crochet project. And I'll just break off a piece of that and put it in place. But since I have been making my own project bags and getting these Notion tins, I haven't found a need to have to do that. But because I mean it's handy to have them. Not necessary though. Okay. Notion bags. I did this in the knitting, so it is a repeat. But for those who crochet and didn't watch my knitting one, this is for you. This is a knitting I won free off playing Fishland on Temu. I only won one, but they sent me 2. So then I have that. I got this at my local crafters market, Aiken's Macon, back in September. And while it's the perfect size for stitch markers and my needles and stuff, it doesn't hold my little scissors. Not comfortably anyway. It will fit if I force it. And then it's a hassle to get it out. So I don't. And I love it because it's little horsies. I mean, who doesn't like horsies? but I've yet to use it because of that reason. Now, I did buy a bigger version, and I use it a lot. But, yeah, it's so cute. And it's even got its own separate little lining. It is cute. Not necessary, though. Because for all of these, none of them's necessary. I used Ziploc bags or sandwich bags. Because you don't need, you don't have to buy these things. But like I said, free. This was $5. And I don't mind supporting local crafters. And all three of these were Dollar Tree for $1.25. This is actually a sunglass case or eyeglass case, which I think is perfect because it will hold the scissors. And I can even put a spare crochet hook in the ones that are this big, or this big, or this big. I haven't used any of these yet because of the fact that not long after I bought those, I made my first project bag, and I haven't stopped. I've not stopped making project bags at all. So I'm hooked on making them. Thankfully, I sell them on my website, and once I can get my website out there to more people, maybe they'll start moving. Because much like my crochet and knitting products that I sell on my website, they're piling up. I'm just letting you know, they're piling up. So if y'all need any project bags, head over to my website. The link is down below. I think. I'm pretty sure I have it down below on all my videos. But if not, I will make sure I start putting it there. So that kind of sums everything up. It's not, none of this, like I said in the very beginning of the video, none of it is essential except yarn and a hook. And if you work with big enough yarn, you don't even need a hook. You can use your fingers. So I haven't accumulated near as much crochet hooks as I have knitting needles. But I don't know. I don't even have a reason for that, other than I started knitting first, and that will probably always be my first love, but I tend to crochet more because of, well, in the last year, because of what I sell. Well, not quite a year yet, but in the last recent history. And as all of you crocheters know, crocheting is faster than knitting, 9 times out of 10. So I hope you've gotten something good out of this video. If you've stuck with me this long, thank you. I appreciate that. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know. Leave a comment. If you disagree with me, I don't mind if you tell me. Just be respectful about it, okay? And if you want to see what's coming up next or in the future, click subscribe. Now, on the subscribe button, you do have to change it from personalized to all. I've had to do that on all the people that I follow because YouTube automatically puts you in personalized. I think that's the designation. And it counts on the algorithm to tell you when someone posts or when they don't. And it has never worked for me. Most of the time, I will go to someone's channel and they will have 3 or 4 videos uploaded that I never got notified for because of that, the way that they've done the subscription piece. So make sure you're doing that on not just me if you subscribe to me. That's very presumptuous of me, but if you any of your YouTube people that you follow, make sure you go in there and check all. Under, when you click on subscribe, a drop down menu will come up, and I think it's the first or second one. I can't remember if they have personalized first and then all, or in reverse and all is up top. So give it a look. I hope you have a great day. Do something that you enjoy. I'm going to see what I can get myself into because my machines aren't working. My hands aren't working. But I got to do something. It's still early. It's not even noon yet, so I got to go find something to get into. First, I'm going to take this dog out because she's apparently about to bust again. I don't think I've been talking for that long, have I? It's possible. On that, I'll see y'all later. Bye.